What's up, everybody? We are back. John Delarose here, delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. Today we are going over Thanos Infinity Saga. You might be wondering what this is. And you might have seen Avengers Endgame. You might have just been checking out some of this Marvel Cosmic stuff for the first time. But Thanos is a character by Jim Starlin. He's, of course, the mega ultra nihilistic bad guy of the universe that you might know from the movies, or you might know from the big events in the 90s, Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War, and Infinity Crusade. So he did this trilogy in the 90s. It really exploded Marvel Cosmic on a level that really nobody had seen before. And really, he has this whole history of doing runs that have built this epic and this character since the 70s. But I'll do another video later kind of going over all of Jim Starlin's Cosmic so that you can get a idea of where to read and what needs to be read. I'll probably wait until the Infinity Crusade Omnibus comes out to do that, because that's a necessary part of the whole equation. All right, so Thanos Infinity Saga is his return to the character and to his cosmic sort of storytelling in 2014 and 15, and it went into 2018 before he finally finished. There are a couple starts and stops. He got really mad because Donny Cates actually came out with a cosmic saga about Thanos, which was universally loved, and it had a lot of similar ideas to what was happening in Starlin's continuation here. So he was mad, not at Donny Cates, but at editorial for greenlighting a project which, you know, basically had the same storyline going on. It is interesting. He changed things up a little bit. He continued and finished it because he wanted to help out the penciler, Alan Davis, on the project. But I believe after that point, he just quit Marvel and is not doing anything for them anymore. All right, so this is Thanos, and you've got this nice omnibus right here. I got the, I believe this is the regular cover. There's a DM variant, which means direct market variant also. It's got a nice little cool spine here. Here's the back. It collects Infinity Revelation, and it collects the Thanos versus Hulk miniseries, Thanos Infinity Relativity, Infinity Entity miniseries, Thanos Infinity Finale, Guardians of the Galaxy Mother Entropy miniseries, and Thanos Infinity Siblings, Infinity Conflict, and Infinity Ending. So a lot of different miniseries here. Actually, those 6 that I didn't mention were miniseries are just original graphic novels. And on the inside, you get this really nice art. I really like the way that this omnibus looks all the way around. Very pretty. Got Adam Warlock on the back there. Got some nice purple binding paper, which I also enjoy. And basically, this one, it does reference a couple of his cosmic deals. That it really starts out with some, for people who have not read it before, this is a lot of the past that went on, and it's kind of an expositional thing, kind of explaining who Captain Marvel is. And this is, by the way, Captain Marvel is not the movie Captain Marvel. It was originally a man, and explaining who Adam Warlock is, and then they get caught up together in this whole situation, which goes over the course of all. It really ties in at one graphic novel to another. Reality's getting undone and remade. These guys keep getting reborn. There's different people from different universes. There's personifications of infinity and eternity, and there's this whole deal called the Living Tribunal, which I guess is just even a weirder concept, which is more powerful than them. There's always something more powerful than the last guy, but he's almost a representation of the Trinity in a way. And Thanos is, of course, trying to set reality right, because everything's kind of wrong. It's interesting. So at this point, there was a point in Jim Starlin's past where he kind of made Thanos into not just a villain. I mean, he's got his own sort of thing. He's always got his own motivations, but he's trying to save reality, and his explanation for such is like, look, if this is my reality, I want to make sure I can save it. And very cool start. I really enjoyed this storyline right here through the beginning. And Another part of Thanos' whole deal is Thanos is trying to impress Death all the time. So Death is a personification. She's shown as a girl. And at the beginning of this, they actually get together, and Thanos has won her affections. Yay. And that rapidly changes throughout this. This is Thanos versus Hulk. This was pretty exciting. I enjoyed this. Hulk gets kidnapped by Annihilus, who is the head of the negative zone, who's always trying to break into... I should mention who the pencilers are on this stuff. So it changes. So the first one, there was a Thanos annual, and that was really the background stuff where it was kind of revisiting who the character was. And we got Infinity Revelation, where this whole sequence starts, which I've been talking about. Jim Starlin drew it, and Jim Starlin drew these first three. So he drew... we're still in his art, which I appreciate they did his art and the writing. And then Andy Smith inked all this. Pretty soon we get into Alan Davis, and we get into one where Ron Lim did a bunch of the old Silver Surfer stuff with Jim Starlin back in the day. And so it was nice to get him in there too. And then Alan Davis wraps everything else out. So it's mostly Alan Davis. We're going to get there shortly. This is a really cool... I enjoyed the Hulk thing a lot. It takes place a lot in Bruce Banner's head. It does a lot of that, like, you know, sort of Peter David style Hulk introspection in there. And of course, Annihilus then like makes himself into Anaya Hulk or Hulk Nihilus or whatever you want to call it through this, and they have to deal with it. Eventually, the Guardians of the Galaxy get into things because Annihilus, even though he gets beat up in this Hulk deal, he still has all his powers, and everybody kind of gets out. And eventually, Annihilus is going to go and attempt to destroy everything and take over the universe. So this is where we are now, Infinity Entity. Something off about Adam Warlock here. Get some background stuff, and this is where the Guardians of the Galaxy get into it. And he uses the movie version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. There's been a lot of change with that over time. Ooh, sorry about that. There's a recurring place, Starlin's Bar, which they all go to during this, which, you know, I'd probably write something like that about myself if I were Jim Starlin, too. But there's something amiss going on, and everything's about to unravel because of these odd plans. And Adam Warlock is on the scene. So Adam Warlock figures out, basically, that there's a something behind Annihilus, because Annihilus is not the most smart person. And the person changing everything and keeping all this going is actually Mephisto. So Mephisto is holding Adam Warlock hostage, basically, and using him as power to power Annihilus's war machines and all that. So, and here's Infinity Finale. Of course, this all wraps up. Everybody gets together and has an epic cosmic fight. This is like major Marvel event level right here. And beautiful stuff. Eventually, of course, the entire universe is out, and they have to reset the universe. And the very cool representations of these things. This is kind of a, like, they finally meet like the Uber God here, who's even more Uber than all the other Uber gods they've been dealing with. Oh man! And eventually, of course, they have to stop Annihilus. There's something weird about the paper of this. Like some of it doesn't feel that smooth on it. I don't know if it's something to do with like the way the ink was set, or if it's just my copy of it. But it was kind of annoying to hold. Some of it's normal paper, but some of it's not. All right. I really enjoyed this, and that's a nice scene right here. I like this art. You know, it's weird having a romance relationship with death, but it was still enjoyable. All right, so there's the next comes this Guardians of the Galaxy Mother Entropy, and what happens is there's this Mother Entropy who's like a tree-ish creature who kind of like just like starts to get everybody Starlin's bargain. Wrapped up in here. Here she is. Very, very odd looking creature. I don't know if she's in the past of this or if this is just if it's something that was invented here. But the Guardians of the Galaxy, like, everybody slowly becomes part of this mother entropy, and the only person immune to it ends up being Groot at the end. It's really cute. See how everybody starts to turn into. They all start to attack Groot, but Groot manages to deal with it. Very cute. So we get into the second trilogy of these graphic novels by Jim Starlin. He stops with these he does these miniseries for a bit, and I think we get one more. Or do we get one more? I don't think we do. Maybe we don't. Nope, we don't at this point. So this is it. So he quit his miniseries. He's built up the Guardians. He's built up Thanos and Adam Warlock. So you kind of know what's going on with all of them at this point in the saga. And this one is also kind of weird. There's a lot of this trilogy is a lot weirder than the first. There's a lot of weird time travel stuff going on. You don't know exactly what's going on at first, and it looks like Eros, who is Thanos' little brother, defeats him, and Thanos ends up going into Death's domain, and then it gets really weird. There's this like future Thanos who shows up. Alan Davis's art really here. It's real nice. Kang the Conqueror shows up. There's all this time travel stuff where everybody's traveling in time. Pip, the troll's traveling in time. Eros is traveling in time. Thanos is traveling in time. And there's this whole plot by future Thanos to like absorb like all of reality. And over the course of it, there's a couple different plot lines that go through. But I mean, there's this character called the Hunger, which exists in different cosmic stuff before also. And this is like a nihilistic creature that, much like that mother entropy, kind of like absorbs everybody into itself. And Thanos finally defeats this thing at the end of it also. So very similar plotline to start to that last mini-series in a lot of ways. But Thanos ends up absorbing this creature. And then Thanos, like, over the course of things, absorbs more and more powerful creatures. So he can become this, like, Uber Thanos. And you see him talking to his future self here. Now, this Uber Thanos future self is just attempting to absorb all of reality. And this is the breakup with Death, because Death sees that Thanos has absorbed Death at some point and is going to try to destroy her kingdom and become her, in essence. So she gets really mad. Oh no, don't piss off the ladies. But eventually, it gets really funky, and with all the time travel and all this stuff, it's a little on the convoluted side compared to the first. The first was like pretty straightforward, and you can follow that first trilogy very easily. But there's a zillion Adam Warlocks, there's a zillion Thanoses, and you don't know who's who or what times it is at points. And there's one line in here, I don't know where it is, but Eros is really the key. And so what happens is they find out that Adam Warlock and Thanos are characters who are kind of out of time and out of place. And so they can never really be killed because they're on a different plane of existence almost. And Eros gets himself elevated to that uber plane of existence. Look at the cool cosmic art. Oh my gosh, beautiful job by Alan Davis. And he ends up being a key to all of this. And so that when they formulate their plot, there's a part that made me chuckle quite a bit. And he's like, "What's the plan? I'm going to do what little brothers do the most." And it's like, I don't know the exact words. I'm sorry, I'm paraphrasing. If I was a professional YouTuber, I'd actually look up the page ahead of time, mark it off, and actually show you. But I'm not. So you see how Thanos has absorbed a ton of stuff at this point. And he says, little brothers annoy their older brothers. And so that's what he does. So very cute. Love this. I've had so much fun with this omnibus. I have read all of Starlin's work up until this point. And so I think it's helpful to read the Infinity Origins omnibus first, and probably at least Infinity Gauntlet or whatever. What was Gauntlet was the first one, I think. Before getting into this. You don't need to really read the rest of the Cosmic Saga, but I'm going to be going through a lot of that also as I go through this stuff. But it does stand mostly on its own. If you know who Thanos is and Adam Warlock is, and the Guardians of the Galaxy are, you can enjoy this by itself for sure. But eventually, of course, they set everything right through the whole course of this. Here's the whole reality unwinding and all that. And that's the end of that. Really good. So by the end, I was happy again. Like I said, this second trilogy was a little more convoluted and wasn't quite as fun from the get-go as the beginning of the book was. But nonetheless, it was a pretty interesting deal. And as you can see, the spoiler that Adam Warlock has his soul gem back, if you are paying attention to some of this stuff. You get some nice, all the intros to the original graphic novels out here. There's an editorial cartoon. A lot of extras at the back too. So good omnibus, highly recommended reading. I enjoy the cosmic stuff a little more than a lot of other stuff. I think it feels a little more sci-fi to me, and so I just relate to it a little more because I like sci-fi better. So this was a 9 out of 10 for me, and definitely worth getting and reading. All right, hit that like and subscribe button, everybody. We will be back soon.